Hey, hey everybody. How are you all doing? Let's see. Is this actually working? It is. Oh my gosh. Hold on. Wow. I can't believe it. Hey, I can't believe it. It's working. Hello. Ha ha. So I'm trying some new software. Always trying something new, trying to make better. Uh-oh, it's gonna click here. Oh no, what's that noise thing? No noise. That's gonna drive me crazy. Okay, hold on, guys. Hold on. We've got to figure this out. Okay, general, keep noise, sound effects. No, good. I saved it. Woohoo! Hey! Ha! Hi! Oh my gosh, now I got to go figure out how to share it. This is totally a different piece of software. Let me go. And then I'll start saying hello to everybody. I haven't really figured out how to use this yet. Forgive me for always playing around. Bam. We are live. Yeah, I can't. I'm going to have to pop out this chat. Let me get that going. Hey, everybody. Oh, my gosh. Now, I don't get this, right? A bunch of you were waiting. And I think I saw Sheila there. Derek, you came early. I mean, oh my gosh. It's, and then who will not be mentioned, I'm sure she's watching, text me. She wanted me to go live 2 hours tonight. That is crazy. Evangelos, hello. Allah Justin, hello. Where's Addie? Where's Addie? Where's Addie? I don't see her. I don't see her. There she is. Hey. Veronica, Panama. Wow. Ashley, hello, 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 hello. Oh my gosh. Cameron, Deborah, Keita. Hopefully I pronounced that right. Joanne, Sissy Song, hello, hello. If I pronounce a name wrong, I am so sorry. Wow. Hey, Jim from Mexico. Hey, Lucas from Brazil. Hi, Ivo from Europe. Everybody's saying where they're from. I am currently in... Where am I? I am in Binghamton, New York. So let me go back to this thing. And let me get this. So, I don't know if I like how this is. Okay, and there's 80 people. Oh my gosh. So how is the okay, I screwed up. Oh no, oh there it is. How is the audio? How's the audio and the photos? Is it good? And I'm getting dings here. And I was just talking about you. Just talking about you. Sheila, hello. Helping Heart, hello, hello. Lucas, thank you very much. So, you guys, lots of cool stuff. Lots of cool stuff has been happening. I don't know if you guys... So, the next really big thing, there's a couple things on my radar, but the next really big thing that I'm trying to really figure out the best strategy is our VR movie, virtual reality movie with Oculus, which is Facebook, is going to be at Tribeca as I get out of focus. That is huge. Then yesterday, we hit 355,000 subs. And then today we hit 360,000 subs. That's unbelievable. Oh my gosh. Unbelievable. And it's all thanks to you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I believe shortly how many of you, I don't know if I should play it just yet. I got to figure out a way. Let me see. I got to figure out a way to do this chat right. I think I'm going to pop it out. Pop it out, pop it out. Where'd it go? I popped it out, and then I lost it. Sometimes Macs get the best of me. There it is. Oh. Okay. So we have the VR. And again, sorry. I'm usually... Well, I'm always kind of scatterbrained. The VR film's coming out. And then how many of you saw I shared we're doing these mini documentaries? How many of you saw them? And would you like to? I have one of the reasons I'm trying this new software is I'm trying to be able to like do things like roll in a video. So I have a 1 minute, 20-second clip of Theo. Theo often joins us in the chat. Cabo, so you saw the mini documentary. What did you guys think? Because I'm going to play it again. If you guys want me to play it again, I will play the mini documentary. It's a teaser. So the documentary is what I mean by mini. They're like webisodes. They're going to be about 6 minutes long. They are probably going to be done sometime later this month, early next month. Let's see the clip. Okay. Well, of course you did, Derek. Derek was the star. Play them, dude. Well, let's see. How many people? We have 100. When it gets up a little more viewers, we'll go. We just went live here. I got to figure out a better way of managing all this. So, and then I'm sorry I couldn't do last week. I was flying. And it was Super Bowl. I figured y'all be eating pizza and screaming at a TV if you can. Hey, Scott Punk, I'm going to play it. There's 107 people on now. It's growing. I will play it in like 5 minutes. How's that? Maybe we'll play it even again a couple of times because a lot of people don't stay for the whole show. And it's really exciting. So let me explain the goal. And it's all thanks to you. It is thanks to you guys. So I, many years ago, had this vision of doing these short educational videos on homelessness. Basically, the stories that small nonprofits can't afford to tell and big nonprofits don't tell or they don't tell well. And I was, dependent on money, really. And we weren't getting money, but you guys, thanks to Patreon and online donations, we were able to get a little bit of money. I asked Alex, who's really the producer on this, and she gave me a great rate. So we were able to create these mini documentaries. So there's one on Theo. I'm going to tell you a little bit about Theo and then I'll play it. So Theo was a school teacher. He lives in a park in Los Angeles. I won't say what park. And he it's right across from where he worked. So he was a school teacher, and then the '08 crash happened. He was laid off, and he lives in a park across the street. But he's a wonderful guy, and he helps the kids, he helps the parents, and he does this podcast on homelessness. He does what I do, kind of, but only a podcast. So I'm going to play it in about 5 minutes. I'll play it at quarter after. So Theo's podcast is homeless people. And it's amazing. A homeless person interviewing homeless people. It doesn't get cooler than that. Then we did a Suitcase Joe, who's a street photographer, and it's going to be a little different. It's amazing. Going to be an amazing video, but Suitcase Joe wants to be anonymous. So that's a little bit of a challenge, but we're going to make it happen. Then we went with Eric, Eric is a super outreach caseworker. He's just amazing. And we met some people in the Valley. Then we hung out with K-Town for All and LAHSA, Los Angeles Homeless Service Authority. And I'm excited about all of them, but I got to tell you about LAHSA because I used to be an outreach case manager in Los Angeles. And I was so mad at LAHSA. It's Los Angeles Homeless Service Authority. They're the overarching agency, and then management changed. But before management changed, as an outreach worker and a family case manager, I was screaming at LAHSA every day. Oh my gosh, I was their worst critic. And then LAHSA changed for the better. And I mean, it's still a huge organization. Lots of bureaucracy. But the politicians started kicking them under the bus. So what happened is you have LAHSA is basically in charge of Los Angeles County. Los Angeles County is probably bigger than the state of Connecticut. It's huge. And they are in charge of all the homelessness, but the politicians have them do homeless sweeps, criminalization. They take cops and sanitation workers. It's just a mess. They disrupt homeless people's lives. So the politicians are saying LAHSA isn't doing what they're supposed to do. Well, 30% of their time is on these sweeps, so how can they do it? And it's the politicians that are making them do it. Okay, so there's 132 of you, 129 of you. Don't go anyplace, because in 2 minutes, I am going to play Leo's clip. Are you ready for Leo's clip? It's only short. It's just a sample of our mini documentaries that are coming. So I'm going to play it. If you guys want me to play it again, I'll play it again. And I'm testing new software here, so hopefully it will work. It is 8:13, and as soon as it hits 8:15, oh my gosh, I'm not good at this stuff because I want to play it now. I don't want it. It's 8:30. I need one of them second clocks. You know, it's 8:14. So who's counting? Let's see, 50 seconds. Okay, I'm just going to play it. I can't wait to 8:15. So y'all ready? This is one of the mini docs. It's Theo. I don't know if Theo is in the chat tonight, but it's amazing. Let me know what y'all think.
Hi, this is Theo Henderson from Wheelie and House podcast. I'm here today at Echo Park Lake, speaking with David, who has been affected by yesterday's sweeps. Well, it is painful and it's disheartening. Here's a gentleman, a student I have. He's an adult now. He's in college. And I remember at the time when I was financially stable and had a place to stay when I was teaching him, it is kind of like saddening to see me in this predicament, because when they pass by, many of the community members have very negative opinions about unhoused people. Not all, but there's a substantial few. And I never woke up one day and says, you know what would be great? I want to be harassed by police. I want to have the hatred of the community. I want to be consistently having to endure hardships in the elements. I'm going to live out here in the street. So that's the greatest thing. So no unhoused person in their right mind would do that. They always have a plan of trying to get themselves on their feet.
I thank you for listening. May we again meet in the light of understanding.
So what'd you guys think? And I don't know, there's definitely a delay here. So I think it might not have been playing right. Again, I'm trying to figure out this software stuff. Did it play? Was the audio good? Was the video good? Eddie, are you talking about the video? Or something somebody said? Wasn't something I said, because I don't get too deep. I mean, deep in guacamole, maybe. So that's just a teaser. So it did play. Great. Yeah, it goes. It's delayed. I don't know what's live here. I will figure this out as time goes on. I will. And where is this? So that is just a 1 minute teaser, and the full video will probably be 6-7 minutes. It will be amazing. Alex is the producer, editor. She shot it. We're going to be doing more work with Alex. We're going to still keep on doing the stuff we always do. It's just really exciting, and it's all made possible thanks to you guys. You guys make invisible people happen. I got to tell you, I am so honored, and you guys are responding. You guys like it. Great. I haven't, because it's so short and I can't make it public yet. I mean, I can, I tweeted it, and I don't want to put a 1 minute video on YouTube. That kind of would not be very smart. So I have been trying to figure out ways of being able to preview it or tease it with you guys. Sorry, I'm trying to juggle everything out. So the videos, we have 5 of them. That's just Theo's video. It will be up shortly. And Salt Lakers, we were supposed to be at Sundance this year with our movie with Oculus, but they couldn't get it done in time. So that is going to be at Tribeca this year, which is amazing. I'm honored. I mean, this is the year, I believe, thanks to all of your help, that Invisible People is going to get the funding that we need to reach our potential. So we have the mini documentaries coming out. Have writers. Right now we have 14 writers. 6 of them are currently homeless. 5 of them are formerly homeless. They're all great. They're all paid the same amount, whether you're housed or unhoused. They're paid a little differently by their experience, but not. And I'm going to just say something. Every place I was either homeless at a homeless shelter and worked up to become staff or nonprofits, homeless people could only get up so high. What I mean is, so the one shelter I lived in for 7 years, nobody should live in a homeless shelter for 7. I'm trying not to swear. That's 7 years I lived in a homeless shelter. Well, so I rose up to staff, and if they hired somebody from the outside who was never homeless, they paid them a decent amount of money, and they got a room with a shower and everything else, right? I made $25 a week for 4 years, working probably 50, 60 hours a week. $25. Now, at the time, there's another side. I was coming out of homelessness. I didn't have any bills. I could buy a Coke and a pack of cigarettes, maybe go to movies, get on a bus or something. $25 was huge. Oh my gosh. But my point is, then they paid me for $100 a week when I became the counselor of the school, because I went to school for psychology while I was in the homeless shelter. And then I started producing their TV show, and they started paying me a decent wage again. But, here's this thing, is that homeless people, even when they're hired at a homeless shelter, are treated like homeless people. So when invisible people started hiring writers, homeless writers, housed writers, we did so in a way that everybody's treated the same. I mean, they're paid by their experience as a writer. Somebody that's been writing for many years and has bylines in major newspapers gets paid slightly more. We can't pay enough. Really, there's some writers that I would like to hire that we can't hire because we don't have any money. I went on this whole rant. So here's the deal. We got invisible people videos. They will always be there. We'll have these live streams. We were going to have more vlog videos, first person videos, but now we're adding these mini documentaries. We got 5 in coming out, and we're going to continue doing them. Then we have journalism. We produce. We post original news content, often written by homeless people and formerly homeless people, every single day, Monday through Friday. Original news on homelessness. Who does that? Who? Nobody does that, right? One of the greatest joys of my month is at the end, sending money to homeless people for their contributions of writing. It's amazing. And somehow we got to build that into more workforce development. And then we also have our Learn More section, which we are updating because there's been some changes in homelessness. However, I'm going to, and I'm doing, you know what? I still haven't even hired myself. I am still unemployed without income. I got a speaking gig. How I make my money is I go off and speak, and that's my money. I don't get any money from invisible people. You might think that's cool, but it really limits our growth. We need to be able to hire a couple of people. And but what we're doing is we're going to start this year doing and I hate this word, educational curriculum for schools. And we also do the advocacy. And, it's happening. It's happening on a huge scale. When I started this 11 years ago, foundations didn't see the value in changing the narrative, but I'm in some conversations now where they are really Bob Geldof. Thank you, George. Where there really might be some good funding so we can do more. But just so you guys know, and you probably do know because we've been together, we're the Invisible People family here, right? Lack of money never stopped me. It just slows me down. Like, for instance, I had this idea of making these mini documentaries 5-6 years ago, but I didn't have the money, and then thanks to you guys donating, we were able to raise the money, and we did some produce. And if you guys want, I can play, it's only a minute, I can play Theo's video again. If you guys want to see it again, maybe there's some new people logged on, I am perfectly fine playing it again. And I'm excited. So then this summer, I've started working on, pretty sure it's going to happen. Last year, I wanted to do a road trip because it was our 10th anniversary road trip. If you don't know, I used to drive around the country. I even drove to 24 cities in Canada once. And this year, I'm going to drive around the country again. Hopefully, we started working on that. It's going to be really amazing, the biggest one yet. Excuse me. And then the next trips, I mean, I got some small trips for speaking. I will be in Austin, Texas for South by Southwest. Then I am headed to Baltimore for the Nonprofit Technology Conference. And then after that, I am headed to an event that YouTube's bringing me into in San Diego. And then I better start packing my bags because road trip's starting then. I mean, there's so much happening. Oh my gosh, I don't know how I'm going to manage it all. But it's good stuff. It's really good stuff. Hey, Cab. Libby, hello from Binghamton, New York. I would like to come to Cape Cod. Is that where you are, Becky? So, I got a funny story that my stepdad, who's kind of a square, I love him to life. My stepdad really helped me a lot. I will be in Amanda. I am going to be in Atlanta a bunch of times, and come September, I'm going to be there for 2 weeks. Looks like, and I'll probably be there for a few days earlier. So I remember my stepdad is just, I mean, God bless him. He was really square, and he's bald. He's an engineer, geek. And here I was a little kid partying, wanting to be cool. I remember he rented a a dune buggy for us in Cape Cod, and it was disastrous because he wouldn't go with any speed, and if you're not going to do the sand dunes at all, it's going to be tough. I mean, it's not so much fun. It's tough on a little kid. So Sheila, I was offered to speak at the statewide conference in Connecticut, but unfortunately I was already booked by YouTube in San Diego. I am sorry. I might, the cities of the road trip are set up yet. So it could all be possible. Cape Cod Medal, thank you. Okay, guys, I can play. There's another video that we did as a teaser, but we got to make some changes to it. Hey, Notorious Big, shoot. Go ahead. So, Mike, it's not about having, this happens a lot. People contact me and they say, I got this farm and we want to give, we want to, have all the people come live here on the farm. Well, if the farm doesn't have a way for people to, if there's no bus route, if there's no way for them to make money, if there's no, transportation to doctors, it's not going to work. So Big wants to know, do you give money to homeless people you captured? Well, captured is a weird word. So, no, I do not give money for interviews because that would be wrong. It would ruin the integrity of it because then they're acting. What Invisible People does that is totally unique is the homeless person retains the rights to their videos. And there's no ads on them. Putting an ad on an interview video would be wrong. It would be totally wrong. So if we do, like Theo's, the video that you saw of Theo, yes, I paid him. Because since it's edited like that, we had to get Theo's to sign over a waiver, his rights. Just so you know, this is how waivers work. Waivers are really a prenup. So there's a couple of people, the stalkers that always get on me because I don't get waivers signed. Waivers, what they say is it protects the photographer, not the homeless person. It's like a prenup agreement. The reason I don't get waivers signed is because I'm more concerned about the relationship. I want it to be a good thing that the homeless person is proud of. And I got it, Sergey's went viral this week, and Sergey contacted me and he said thanks, and he's doing good. And I've been emailing him back and forth. It's about the homeless people. So I want to make sure he's comfortable. I haven't made an announcement yet. I was kind of probably even, so my point is, most nonprofits, they have homeless people sign over their rights on a waiver, and then they don't give them anything, and then they go make money off the video or the story. I would never do that. Invisible People videos are owned by the homeless person. It's theirs. It's their right. And for integrity purposes, it would be acting. Now, occasionally, if I have money and they have a need, I will get them a hotel room, buy them meal, buy them food, buy them a blanket. I've been known, helped the whole family fly from Los Angeles, the whole mom and kids. I mean, it's unbelievable, these little things. But see, those little things, they don't end homelessness. Charity is important. You got to feed people, you got to clothe people, but charity's never going to stop why somebody needs clothes and food. And that is what we need. We need to end homelessness. We need to solve poverty in this country. But it's a good question, and it comes up a lot. Did you give that person money? It would be acting if I did. There's no money being made off their videos. And if it's a video like Theo's, that it's edited, and maybe I'll put ads on it, I haven't decided yet, I paid him really good. And I bought him some brand new sneakers. And we, like, for instance, Rocky in the Oculus movie and all the homeless people, they were all paid because they all had to sign over their rights. So that's the difference of it. And, we're not a direct services. Did you guys see the article in the LA Times about our online support group? So we don't provide, there's this myth that, to end homelessness, you got to give a sandwich. To end homelessness, you got to give clothes. No, that's maintaining homelessness. I mean, people are hungry. You got to give them. No, well, you know what? I'm just going to be real with you. In most inner cities, there's plenty of food. There's all kinds of interviews on Invisible People where homeless people are saying, one thing I've never gone hungry. I need housing. I'm cold. This rain really sucks, but I get plenty of food. People give food. That's what they do. That's all they give is food, 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 food. So there is food insecurity in this country. If you go to one of the food banks or food pantries, it's mostly people in housing. More often than not, I will ask people panhandling, are you homeless? And they're not. They just can't make ends meet. So there's people in apartments, seniors, shut-ins, who are desperately in need of food. You have moms trying to, in a hotel room, where there's no refrigerator or it's a little mini fridge and maybe there's a microwave, right? And they're desperately in need of food. There is food insecurity in this country, but in that homeless area, that homeless park, I was in Tompkins. You guys got me ranting. I was in Tompkins Square Park in New York City. I was there 2 hours, and 5 different churches came and fed the same people. 5 different churches. I bet you 20 churches came and fed the same people, right? So, anyways, but thank you for that question. So the 573, it's a serious crisis. You are absolutely right. 5 years, 4 million truckers will be out of work. 7 million data entry clerks. Already shopping clerks are going, right? You go to many McDonald's or Popeye's Chicken or Amazon even has cashierless cashierless stores anymore. So, Lynn, I try to give money when I can, when it's safe. I don't always give money. I mean, I'm probably one of the worst to panhandle from because I always got a bag of socks. You're right, Derek. Around the holidays, there's more than enough food. There's plenty enough food. But that's what people think. Did you give them? So there are now, and I shudder to think that I started this genre. I've been doing this for a long time, but there are other YouTube channels that go out and give addicts $10 for a video interview, and they have ads and they're making money. I have issues with that. That's why there's no ad on any of the interview videos. None. And, on the videos, I think we're going to break $300 this month, which actually goes to cover the closed captioning costs because it's $1 a minute for closed captioning. Saad Ahmed, there's a post on Invisible People. If you go and you search shelters or what's the best thing to go into shelters in Google, it should come up. I think it's the 10 best thing to give to homeless shelters. I strongly recommend asking because different shelters may have different needs. They might have a donor that came up, Walter's in the house. They might have a donor that gave a pallet of toilet paper. So they have plenty of toilet paper, but they don't have eggs. And that's a true story. I've been, connected to a homeless shelter that didn't have eggs. So they weren't able to cook eggs for breakfast. And one can only eat so much oatmeal. But you ask them. One thing I can tell you, and again, where Derek brought up the holidays, one thing, I worked at a family shelter, right? In Christmas time, we ended up throwing toys away. People gave too much toys. These families are in a shelter. They can't, I know people got best intentions. It's Christmas. Let's get all the homeless boys and girls toys. But the families, they can't do anything with the toys. They don't have any storage. And so then we would call around other shelters and try to give the toys away. We would call the fire department, try to give the toys away. And if we couldn't, then we would end up either a thrift store or throwing them away because there's too much going. And, it would have been better instead of buying toys to get a bunch of $5 gift cards at Target or $10 gift cards to the mom. Mo, thank you so much. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, Jan. Okay, we got 15 minutes. Wow, that went by fast. You guys want to watch Theo's thing again? Theo's video. It's a minute long. You guys want to? If I get 3 yeses, I will play Theo's little short teaser again. Okay, we got 1 yes. So, David, I think we need to get to where there's going to be, Nancy, I think that's a yes. There's 3 yeses. So let me answer David. He was asking, do you support? There's some people, there's a video here of Muhammad. I met him 2 years in Chicago. Muhammad's African-American. He did 6 years in prison. He is missing an arm. And the state of Illinois doesn't pay welfare for single individuals. So Muhammad can't get a welfare check. And SSI won't give him an SSI check because he has 1 arm. They say he's got a good arm. Who's going to hire an African-American named Muhammad that has a felony, spent 6 years in jail, and has 1 arm? He's unhireable. He's unhireable. He's willing to work. He has 2 choices, panhandling or committing crimes and going back to jail. So in situations like that, hey, Sufi, thank you. In situations like that, yes, I believe, have a moral obligation to get people inside and to give them health care and to give them basic needs. I believe that with all my heart. It's also smart because it saves taxpayer money in the long run. But great question. Okay, you guys, I am ready. I am going to play. Now, it starts off in the black and comes up, so you'll be able to see it. But you guys are in for a treat. This is one of our teasers for the mini documentaries that are coming. They should be posting soon. Theo talks about a student. He has a podcast. He's currently homeless. And he talks about one of his students. He was a school teacher, and he talks about one of his students seeing him as a homeless person. So here it is.
Hi, this is Theo Henderson from We the Underhoused podcast. I'm here today at Echo Park Lake, speaking with David, who has been affected by yesterday's sweeps.
Well, it is painful. It is and it's disheartening. There's a gentleman, a student I have. He's an adult now. He's in college. And I remember at the time when I was financially stable and had a place to stay, when I was teaching him, it is kind of like saddening to see me in this predicament. Because when they pass by, many of the community members have very negative opinions about unhoused people. Not all, but there's a substantial few. And I never woke up one day and says, you know what would be great? I want to be harassed by police. I want to have the hatred of the community. I want to be consistently having to endure hardships in the elements. I'm going to live out here in the street. So that's the greatest thing. So no unhoused person in their right mind would do that. They always have a plan of trying to get themselves on their feet.
And I thank you for listening. May we again meet in the light of understanding.
Cool. Did you guys, those of you that have watched it a second time, was it just as good? And for those of you that watched it for a first time, what'd you think? So Rumpelstiltskin, I know this was 2 years ago. Trucks are already here. They're already driving them. Holy crap. I was just in Gainesville, Florida, and the local bus that goes around and picks people up. Now, it was a smaller bus. It was probably a 12-seater, not a huge, long bus, but it was automated. It went from stop to stop, and there was no driver. There was no driver at all. Hey, Antonio, thank you. I know this is why automation is so scary, because everybody says, oh yeah, we know it's coming, but they're not going to take my job. I mean, I thought caregivers, because I take care of my mom. I thought, how could a robot, take care of an elderly person? And they have them. They're building them. They're already implementing robots for senior citizens in Japan. Already here. Trucks will be driving themselves in 5 years. And it's going to happen. The train has left the station. What it is people want profits. And the most expensive thing to an employer is a FTE, a full-time employee. Because let's say you're making $10 an hour, $15 an hour because of minimum wage. Let's just make it 20. The employer still has to pay insurance, hopefully some health insurance, unemployment insurance, Social Security, and all these others. So if you're a $40,000 employee, you're really paying $55,000 the employer. I forget what the percentage is above, but and then you call in sick. You might, get in a car accident or just feel good or be unproductive. And so that's a liability to employers. I have seen it. I've been in executive management most of my adult life, and we've been in these conversations of how can you automate, and it's going to happen. It's going to happen to every single. In my job, which is marketing, they say the only person left is the person going to the meetings and programming. The strategy, the design, everything will be automated. Okay, we're down to the last 10 minutes. Hey, Lady Firefly. Well, I don't know where you live. We're going to see what's happening. Hey, Jan, it's not just California. I mean, it's everywhere. It is everywhere. California gets a lot of attention. I was just in Gainesville, Florida. And every year, I go to Gainesville every year. Every year it gets worse. Where I live in a small town of 40,000 people. One of the supervisors shared this thing about lofts being built, and it was in a factory that my grandmother used to work in, so it caught my attention. And the starting rent was $1,000. This is a 40,000 people town. There's only Taco Bell jobs here. So here's what's happening. There's the developers and the politicians, and you pick a city. It's not just LA. It's Seattle, San Francisco, Binghamton, New York, Gainesville, Florida, Jacksonville, Florida, St. Louis. You pick a city. Same thing is happening. These real estate developers, the real estate industry had been funding and pushing politicians. So we've been building for-profit, not for-profit, well, it's for-profit, but high-end condos and townhouses. In most cities now, I know in Los Angeles, New York, there's like 8 empty apartments for each homeless person, each person that needs it, right? And so what's happened is, because the developers have money and the developers push the politicians, the politicians should have been building affordable housing all this time. They should have, would have, could have. I mean, this is really that situation. And now, and I'm not going to swear, I promise I'm not going to swear this whole video, put that before it has hit the fan. And yes, there's a lot of homelessness in Los Angeles. That is because of the city of Los Angeles and the county of Los Angeles. The politicians made some really dumb decisions. And now, I try to keep these from not being too political. Ben Carson, is trying to cut stuff right now. The HUD-Trump budget is going up tomorrow. Hopefully it doesn't pass. So Trump cut taxes to all these rich people, and he tells you in his State of the Union speech that he cares about you, but then he cuts support for people. Trump's building, his solution to homelessness is jails. And it's because of I'm not going to get too political, especially with Walter in the house. But it's a very good question, but it's not just an LA question. I think we make a mistake. I know LA is in the news a lot. But if we make a mistake and say, it's only an LA problem, and we don't take care of it in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, or in, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, then it's going to be just as bad there before you know it. It is really, we have a housing crisis in this country. We have a severe housing crisis in this country. A lot of the NIMBY folks, I mean, they're saying, it's mental illness and addiction, and there is a mental illness and addiction problem. But those people need housing too. You know what I mean? So here's what happens. And there's multiple videos on invisible people. When a homeless person wants to get sober, they go into a rehab, right? And then they're exited back to homelessness. So this idea of rehab, come on. It doesn't make... we've got to fix all the systems so it's connected together. So that when a homeless person wants to get sober, they go into rehab and then they go into housing. Or if a homeless person just wants to go into housing, rehab is enforced on. There is proof upon proof that we cannot force. This is funny to me, because one of the solutions that people keep arguing for is to force homeless people, right? To force them into treatment, to force them into mental health services. Have you ever in your life, everyone in here, how many people are in here? There is 170 people. Be honest. Has anybody ever forced you, minus you got arrested and you went into jail and you were forced, right? And I know a significant other, maybe your wife or your girlfriend or your husband forced you into doing something, but have you ever been forced into doing something and you did it and it ended up being something that was like, oh God, I'm glad they forced me? No, we're humans. We reject being forced into anything. Yeah, Gracie. Oh, so you were in Gainesville? Yeah, I was just in Gainesville. I hope to be in I hope to be in Vegas soon. But Jan, good question. Good question. It's just it's very scary to just say it's one city. It's all over. See, the government will there's new data out. There's 1,500,000 homeless youth, kids, homeless children, homeless youth, homeless children has been growing forever. The HUD count is messed up. They want you to believe that it's winning so that they can cut the budget, probably, right? I need to figure out how far this delay is. So could somebody let me know? Type in "I hear you." Type in "I hear you" so I can see how long the delay is from when I see it, when I say it, and then you guys actually. Hey, Vicky. Wow, that took a while. Thanks, Addie. Thanks, Sufi. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that. Hey, Brad. Brad hears me loud and clear. Somebody else said I was loud. I think I've been distorting. Has it been too loud? So what's a neat feature, and I'll do it for Addie, and I'm going to just try it here. You know what? I'm going to do it with Vicky. And then I can go look at Vicky. I can add the comment. Or where is Addie? Addie! Hopefully you guys can see that. This is pretty neat software. I don't know how I'm going to use that yet, but pretty neat. Yeah, about 5 seconds. Okay, thank you, Amanda. I think that's probably right, too. Hi, Kim. I see you. Thanks, Becky. Thanks, Gracie. Apprentice blocks. Exactly. So I'm going to put this. Hopefully you guys can see that. Does it work? Are the comments showing on the screen when I do that? Oh, cool. Thanks, Jake. Okay, we're getting down to the last bit. So James the Adventure Seeker, I have no idea. I don't know who would survive. I have no idea. Plenty loud. And your point is, Sheila, what is your point? I got this passion. I you know, especially when you guys get me ranting. But I think you guys do it on purpose. Thanks, Libby. Okay, folks, we've been on for officially over an hour. It's been Sunday night. There's somebody that's watching that texts me and wanted to go for 2 hours, but my voice, we did 4 hours on New Year's Eve as a marathon. We had guests. If you guys thought this new software was all right, maybe we'll keep on using it. Glad you guys liked Theo's video. Hopefully we'll be posting them soon. Still debating on if I should cut my hair. We'll see. But anyways, again, I enjoy our time on Sunday nights. Hopefully you guys will have an amazing week. And I will see you all next week.